Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me once again in the Hub. My name is Itoro Jimmy. It's so good to be with you again this time today. And of course, as always, we always have a very entertaining, informative, and educative topic to discuss. And today we'll be talking about the role of a principal or a school head in the development of a physical and health education in schools. Now, when we talk about physical and health education, the first thing that comes to mind is the PE teacher, so to speak, and the activities students get to do probably once or twice a week. Now, we want to talk about the important role a principal or a school head can actually, impact in this particular topic, because lots of people don't know that there are some schools who actually don't have the facilities to carry out, the physical activities. And it is the job of the school head or principal to, enforce this, as it is also very, very important in the educational structure. And of course, I won't be doing this all by myself. So I'm joined by Kimphee De Leon from the Philippines, and he's a professor with the Cavite State University College of Sports and Physical Education and Recreation. You're welcome, Kimphee.
There you go, blessed day, Miss Itoro, and to the subscriber and viewers we have with us today. Moreover, I'd like to make a special mention to the President of the International Association of Physical Education and Sports Incorporated Philippines, Dr. Joel Son Santos, who has strengthened my professional relationships as a result of my membership in the organization. And Miss Itoro, I really appreciate the opportunity to be on your show. It's really an incredible experience and a privilege.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. So we're going to dive straight into the discussion of the day. So Kimphee, I'd like you to tell us, what is physical and health education, and why is it so important, to be included? Why is it important that it should be added to the school curriculum?
Okay, so I'll straight with my answer also, Ms. Itoro. Physical education classes benefit students in many ways. And this is actually part of the curriculum across the globe. And PE classes can help students to become more aware of the importance of healthy lifestyle. By having a healthy body, students can also retain a higher level of knowledge, and having access to this knowledge can help them make smart decisions regarding their safety, health, and total well-being. To mention more, it helps physical fitness of the students. It improves their academic performance, reduces the level of their stress, and helps students to focus. And these are only few among the many specific reasons why every student should continue to engage in physical education. It's clear that physical education plays a key role in the development of the student's life. However, there are various factors that we have to consider in the development of the physical activities of our students. But it's also important for a physical educator just like me to help learners make the right choice of physical activities either now or in the future. Probably there are some good reasons for why physical education should be incorporated in the school's curriculum.
Okay, so what is the best program or project, or you understand what I'm saying? What is
Yeah.
the best project or program a school head or principal can undertake, to ensure that physical and health education are, clearly developed in their school?
Before I say my take on that matter, and for this topic, I'd just like to give emphasis that leadership and management skills are required in order to fulfill the role of the school head or a principal. And in order to lead the ship, school leaders must observe objectively how their students need to be supported. Fitness and health should be equally evaluated by the school stakeholders and primarily the students, while equipping them with the right amount and volume of learning competencies essential for their development as lifelong learners. In disclaimer, Ms. Itoro, my views on this course discussions are solely based on my employment experience alone and my experiences as a leadership student, okay? Just to make it clearer, okay? There you go. So talking about the questions you've mentioned, what are the best practices or the best program and projects that that the Department of Education here in the Philippines is doing with respect to the physical education and health curriculum, actually there's a lot. Number one here is we have this program nationally adopted called the um, the the Nestle Wellness Campus Dance Exercise. We have that way, no? We have that. And Ms. Itoro, I'd like to share with you that this program is started by the Nestle company here in the Philippines and then later on cascaded all throughout the country. Imagine that. And it has been established in 2013 and up to this very moment it is being applied. And in fact, this dance exercise is being participated by about 40% of the public grade school and high school students across the Philippines, from the northern part to the southern part of the Philippines. And as of the moment, we're reaching about 13,000 public schools supporting the program.
Okay, so now I'll ask, are school heads actually mandated by the Ministry of Education to emphasize the importance, to include physical and health education in their basic curriculum?
Talking about the legal aspect of this one, no. Yes, Ms. Itoro, it is indeed being stipulated in the 1987 Philippine Constitution and specifically under Article 14 on education, which highlights that the support should be given to the teaching PE and health in the curriculum. Furthermore, there are lots of terms and conditions included in the article. But as our curriculum here in the Philippines transitioned from the basic education curriculum to the K to 12 curriculum 6 years ago, PE curriculum was reinforced and redesigned to meet specific learning outcomes. Students now should gain the ability to synthesize, to evaluate information, to make informed decisions, enhance and advocate fitness, and evaluate information and make a sound decision as well. And it all underpins the competence, the confidence, and the commitment required of all the students to live an active life for fitness and in health.
Okay, so thank you. I can see there's a whole lot of interactions there. So before I go into my next question, Johnson Santos, thank you for joining us. He said good evening, and he also physical education and sport is part of the holistic development of learners. Now, what's your take on that?
Of course, of course. You cannot get rid away of the purpose and the essence of the physical education because physical education and health education is not primarily meant for the students alone because all of us have body to maintain. So this is something that everyone should be to be aware of and to take consideration of.
I didn't get that.
Uh, do I speak so fast?
No. I think it's a little bit of network glitch. Please come
Okay.
again.
So what I'm trying to say, Ms. Itoro, is that, of course, the part of the holistic development of every individual is the physical education and health aspect. Because we have body to maintain, and part of maintaining our body is to ensure that our fitness is not at risk. So therefore, it's not an obligation for only the student to maintain their health in a good status, but everyone's obligation.
All right. So how can principals and principal school head, because I understand that over in the Philippines, it is now regarded as school head, or here we mostly say it's principal. So how can principal or school heads sustain motivation amongst the school stakeholders? I'm talking about teachers and students here to participate in physical and health activities within and outside the school.
That's a very intriguing question, Ms. Itoro. But before I mention my answer on that, Ms. Itoro, can you allow me to make some special shout out to some of my community that I am affiliated with because I actually invited them to be part of the session today. Would it be okay for you, Ms. Itoro?
I didn't get that. Please come again.
What I'm trying to say is that will it be okay for you if I just make some shout out to my different community I am affiliated with, because I actually invited them to stay
Go
tuned in
ahead, because
our.
'cause- go ahead, because I know a whole lot of them are here with you, so it would be nice to give the support to them. No, go ahead, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Visitor. Special shout out to all the communities I am currently affiliated with. Number one, the Novaliches High School community, led by our very dynamic school head, Dr. Tagayun, and the Cavite State University, specifically the College of Sports and Physical Education and Recreation under Dean Professor Jasmine Cobillo, and my dear BPED students and business students who are currently here right now, and to my SDSC Graduate School and Institute of Professional Development students across the metro. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for being part of this session. And going back to your question, Ms. Itoro, what are the ways of the principals to possibly ignite and maintain the interest of the the stakeholders in engaging into
Yeah, talking
different
about
physical
teachers,
activities?
students. Yeah, how can you get them to participate in physical and health activities within and outside the school?
There you go. So schools physical education and health programs are among the best of most efficient methods for preventing major health risks and social problems. I know you would agree on that. And as an educator, I believe the next to the family, schools are the largest provider of information and education in the world, instructions and experiences that prepare our young people for the role as a healthy and productive adults. School heads can and invariably do play a powerful role in influencing students' physical health related behaviors and their enthusiasm to engage. If the school head himself is conspicuously engaged in physical activities, well, that's a great motivation for everyone to strive for the same feat, right? And if I may share also, Miss Itoro, my personal experience of how I get inspired to embark on PE is simply the role I have witnessed from my very own school head. He does the thing. He does the PE himself. He does it with grace. Imagine a principal participating in a fun run early in the morning. In front of his teacher, he dances with gracefulness and shows passions in front of the school community. All this add up to how confident I am as a PE teacher to what kind of a leader I actually follow. And on a serious note, Miss Itoro, of course, more than showing how PE is being done by the school head, the main responsibility of the school head is to provide a continuous and sustainable program and project by partnering with its stakeholders in the conduct of relevant physical activities. Also, he may also opt to encourage his faculty members, regardless of the respective specialization, either they are teaching mathematics, Filipino, English, to embark to different fitness journey that will bring awareness of their health status and suggest to prioritize health over work. Any school leader would be delighted to see everyone reach their body mass index classification in as
Sure.
normal, because this can result in a domino effect that when the body is healthy, of course the mind is as well. And that is
Of
according
course.
to the Latin dictum mensana in corpore sano.
Sure. So, before we came on live, I know we discussed, the possibility of, principals getting involved in school activities, which I think is actually very, very important. And like you said rightly, it will actually be very, very crucial, helping the stakeholders, I mean the teachers and the students, to understand that it is not just about, sitting in the classroom and taking all the lectures, but also being also very, very active in physical education. I mean, I don't know about in the Philippines, but over here, um, physical education is something that probably runs once or twice in a week. And I think it's high time that, principals should try and make sure that there's a lot more time. And like I said before we started the show, there are schools that don't have the facilities. You just talked about partnership right now. Most schools don't have the facilities. Maybe they want their students to practice, these physical activities, but they don't have the facilities. They don't know who to go to get this done. How would you advise? How do you think school head should go about this so that they could get the necessary facilities? I mean, even if it's a table tennis or maybe some board games, how do you advise them to go about this?
Well, actually, Miss Ito, relying simply on the fund provided by the government, I think it won't suffice really. It really won't suffice. That's why the role of the principal here should at least make some linkages, try to outsource, try to make certain connections to the community, empower, enrich the community connection so that we could make some good outsourcing, so outsourcing of fund and finance everything that we need, procure possible facility needed so that the implementation of the PE and the sports will be smoothly done.
Yeah.
Outsourcing is
So
a very important thing.
yeah. So if you're just joining us, we have not gone so far. We've not gone too far. This is just 15 minutes or say about 16 minutes on the clock. And today we're talking about the role of the principal or school head, in the development of a physical and health education in school. And my guest is Kimphee De Leon. He's joining me all the way from the Philippines. And he's been giving us some insight on how principals can actually, help develop the physical and health education in schools. He just said that it won't be a bad idea if the principals can actually be part of the physical activities, as this would also motivate not just the student, but also the teachers, helping them to understand that classes are not just to be taken sitting in classroom and all that. That the physical activities is actually best, and he's advising we should take on this. So we'll continue. So Jasmine says, I hope I didn't pronounce the name badly. Says thank you for this topic. Indeed, physical education aims for optimum development of an individual. And Santos says curriculum and program in line with physical education and sport is a community engagement for both school community and the government. So what's your take on this, please?
I think I just did mention that a while ago that it's part of the role of the principal to really make some connections, not entirely on the internal stakeholder of the school, but try to connect outside the community. And I just want to make mention also that Professor Jasmine Cobillo is the Dean of the CSPEAR of the Cavite State University. Thank you very much, Ma'am Jasmine Cobillo, for having us here. I mean, for being with us in the show.
All right. So you're giving so much shout out. I mean, who's gonna give me a shout out? Anyway, no problem. I'm just I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So now my next question is would you mind sharing with us your own successful activity that you think could serve as a benchmark to probably school heads out here, not just in the Philippines, but over here as well?
Sorry, I think I was able to preempt that question already and tried to answer that with your previous question. But allow me to reiterate this one, no, that one of the program has been adopted nationally, and which I can consider good to benchmark the other country is the Nestle Wellness Program or the dance exercise that we actually conduct all throughout the country, and it's being done as part of the PE component. Since
Okay.
the
So you
country since the country is able to deliver and perform this program for almost 7 years now, and I think it's a really a good thing to benchmark this kind of activity.
all right. So would you mind sharing, sorry, not would you mind sharing this time, what are the struggles that you think, what are the struggles that you think school heads actually face in implementing, physical and health education? What are the challenges you think they face?
If I may be honest with this first point I wish to discuss, Miss Itoro, I hope you don't mind. I strongly believe that the school head should bear in mind and revisit the preparation, alignment, exposure, and both technical and practical experiences in PE and health as vital fields. After all, it may sound cliche, Miss Itoro, but we can't give something we don't have. I think that's the first struggle of any school head, is that he needs or she needs to at least have a background of what really PE is and what really health is, so that he will be able to deliver the curriculum right. That's the first struggle that I think we could consider. The second problem, or the second struggle, should I say, is, of course, as the grassroots implementers of the curriculum, and this is us teachers, we must always stay abreast of the trends of teaching physical education and health, because past experiences cannot be used to complacently predict the future anymore. And it is necessary to regularly update, since the needs of learners change constantly as well. So I think we have to invite our teachers, our grassroots levels implementers, or our teachers as the educators, to to embark to professional development programs, try to enroll to master's program. Then I think they will certainly stay on the top of the latest trends in terms of teaching physical education and in health. That's the second struggle. And the third struggle, which I would like to point out and highlight, is, let me spell it out, Miss Itoro. I want all of us to say it rightly. It spells as BUDGET. All together, let's say it. I think that's budget.
Now you are breaking a bit, so I was waiting for you to stop. So because you were kind of like, we lost you there for a few seconds. So while you were explaining the second point, actually, so what were you saying? If you don't mind, please kindly take us a little bit back.
On the second point that I mentioned,
Yes, the second point you
yeah,
mentioned.
I wish to mention that as part of the struggle, I think I consider here is the being the grassroots implementors of the curriculum. We teachers have to continuously abreast ourselves to the latest trends in teaching physical education and health, because the needs of our students continuously or constantly change. So do we. So I think we have to invite our teachers and educators to enroll to professional development programs or the master's program. Then certainly we'll be able to stay on the top of the latest trends in teaching physical education and in health. Ms. Itoro, there. Did she stop?
Wow, sorry, sorry, sorry. I didn't know what just happened, and we went off. So sorry about that. So sorry. I'm trying to bring Kimphee back on. I'm trying to bring Kimphee back on. So sorry, guys. The internet has been really, really funny today. I hope I can get him back on. So if you're just joining us, we are talking about the role of the principal in the development of physical and health education in schools. And our guest, Kimphee, has been talking about the importance to get the principal to be part of the activities, helping the teachers and students to understand that you don't have to sit in a classroom to take lectures alone. You also have to, make sure that you build yourself up physically, improve on your physical activities. So that would also aid your other activities. Sorry, Kiffy, I think the internet connection has been really, really bad today. And I've been telling you to repeat yourself
Yes.
over and over again. So it eventually went off. So for the sake of viewers, we're really, really sorry. We're really sorry for that break in transmission. There's some things you just don't have control over. So Kiffy, I'm going to go back to that question because, I mean, for the sake of those that are just joining us now, I'm going to ask you that question again. So please don't be offended. You have to take it again. So my question was, what are the struggles principals face in trying to implement the physical and health education in their curriculum? What struggles do they
No.
face?
Okay. If I need to mention the first and the second one, then I'll do it. It's perfectly fine. So the first struggle which I
No,
considered
just go ahead. Just breeze through all of them.
okay, go ahead. Let's have the third one. So the third struggle which I think we confront in delivering the curriculum in physical education and health is that the budget. So as we all know, resources play a very important role to carry out any PE and health programs and projects. So across in many things that we do, of course, fund is very essential. And the fourth struggle is trying to get rid of the stereotype that PE and health is just a so-so subject. It's not a major subject. Therefore, they are not as important as the core subject. We have to kill that idea. We have to cut that stereotyping. This would tantamount to the minimal effort we exert and cause why these areas will continue to be left behind. That's why we really have to cut that stereotyping about the subject.
Yeah, yeah, cutting away that stereotype of PE is just a part-time subject. It is not like you treat your maths and your English and probably history in schools. I think it's not just only in the Philippines. It happens around here as well.
Mhm.
So I want to ask: are there school heads or principals who you think are specialized in probably physical and health education, yeah, there in your region?
Well, actually, Ms. Itoro, statistically speaking, there are a small number of the school heads possess undergraduate preparation in terms of tea and health here in the Philippines. It is true that only few schools across the country offer a doctor of education or doctor of philosophy specializing and majoring in physical education and health. But we full believe it would be a great advantage to fully understand the importance of tea and health if there is a clear background on both technical and practical experiences in this field. However, this does not disqualify this school head to take the lead and deliver the mandate of the Department of Education in implementing the P and the health. After all, school heads here in the Philippines are continuously being recalibrated to meet the need to improve on certain aspects of the educational systems that we have.
Now, now, for school heads who probably are not so educated, who are not well informed, are there programs that they can actually get to go to help them understand the importance of implementing physical and health education in school? I don't know, you went up for a few minutes, I don't for a few seconds. I don't know if you heard my question. Did you get my question?
Yes, I get it right. I get it clearly.
Okay, so let me repeat it again. So I'm saying for school heads who probably don't know much about physical education like you do, are there are there institutions they can actually go to get well informed on how to implement physical and health education in schools?
Okay. To carry out the curriculum, it's not a sole work of the school head. He or she can tap his head teacher in charge in the music arts, physical education, and health to help him deliver the program. That's number one thing. That's the first thing. The second thing, the Department of Education never fails to provide certain training not only for the grassroots level implementers or the teachers, but also for the school heads. So they're being recalibrated, they're being trained to be holistically concerned with all subject areas, not only on science, English, Filipino, or others core subject, but also the physical education. And there are numbers of organizations across the country, either nationally accredited and internationally accredited, like the International Association of Sports and Recreation by IAFs. There's a lot. So there are many ways to still get abreast on the trend of the physical education. So it's just a matter of initiative of the principal to get into the physical education curriculum. It really all depends on him.
Okay. All right. So is it really necessary to have a major, like, for instance, like you major in English or major in medicine? Is it really possible to major in, say, physical education, for you to have knowledge to be able to impact, in the school that you are actually teaching? I mean, as the school head this time.
You know what, Miss Itoro? You know what, Miss Itoro? It's very ironic to say that actually when I was in high school, I don't have PE subjects. Why? Because I have potassium
Really,
problem.
when
I
what
tend
happened?
to faint. I tend to faint every PE classes. So what I'd rather do way back before is to engage myself in the library and be part of the library staff for many years in my high school days. And ironically speaking, I'm currently teaching PE right now in high school. So you see the difference? But actually, my undergrad is not PE. My undergrad is technology and livelihood education, which I happen to be displaced. That's we term it displaced in terms of the subject that I'm currently teaching right now. But it doesn't disqualify me to teach the PE. After all, the initiative to embark on the physical education and health curriculum is a matter of initiative of the teacher. After all, there's a lot of program, there's a lot of training once you're already in the system for you to become qualified to teach or for you to become amenable or to become more proficient in teaching the PE subject. Again, it boils down to one thing. It's a matter of initiative of the implementers of the curriculum to stay on the track of PE and continue to grow.
So you just mentioned something now that you were not into physical education in high school. Now, I needed to give us like a detailed account, put yourself in the shoes of a high school teacher who probably says, oh, okay, I want to run this project and I don't know how. I mean, I'm saying this for the benefit of those that were like you who want to come into the program. Can you give them a detailed guideline on how to achieve this? I've heard people say before that they were not, probably into sports. They don't like sports. But right now they're like, oh, okay, I don't know what happened to me. I like sports now, but I can't practice it so much. Even running is very difficult. Now we have people like this. How do you get to bring them in?
Well, Miss Itoro, actually, self-assessment is very important. We have to be aware of our weaknesses and strengths. And from there, that is the starting point. That is the jump point of everything. And upon realizing the things that you are incapable of doing, then that's the start also of the plan, what you have to plan ahead for yourself. And I realized that I can't be working in my college life. I can't be working as a teacher if I will be looking like a lizard, a very thin bamboo, dancing while the air blows. So I cannot be like that. So this realization, this self-reflection made me decide to embark and try to get an interest to fitness and physical education. That's the first thing that I did. And the second one is I opened myself and tried to communicate to people who are into this. and find a
All right.
help and seek assistance from them. And then from there, I grow a little by little. Then I think I could claim and I can be proud of myself that I was able to sustain in the profession teaching physical education. That this is my Waterloo way back many, many years. But right now, I was able to manage to stay.
All right. So what challenges did you encounter along the way?
The
Can you
transition was
share that with
very,
us?
very the transition was very hard, Miss Itoro. It was really hard because I don't want being sweating. I don't want sweating. And then I don't want physical contact. I don't want being hit by other people. I don't want being bumped by other people. I don't want to be exposed in an environment which is very hot. I don't like that because I tend to faint. But since I set a goal to myself that I have to improve, then I have eliminated all those worries and apprehensions. Then I just started it. I started my plan.
All right. So now that you are actually a professor, I mean you gradually built yourself up from somebody that was not, interested in sport, and now you're a professor in a sports college. I mean, it's really, really massive. It's really massive. I'm sure your students are very, very, proud when you reach out and, tend to teach them. Now, I want you to tell us more about your own activities, in Cavite University.
Most of the subjects I'm currently handling in the Cavite State University under the College of Sports and Physical Education and Recreations are professional education subjects, teaching our students to preparing our students how to teach and become a teacher just like me. That is
All
my
right.
concentration as part of the college. However, given the opportunity to teach in PE for high school, of course, it's really a big leap on my part. It's really a big leap. What are my strategies in doing that? Actually, I always display by example. I always do my tasks um, initiatively by me and try to let my student copy the exact form of the exercise directly from me. That's my style. I always tell my student before you do it, I have to do it first because I have to ensure that this will be safe to you. Because if this exercise is safe on certainty, therefore I know and I'll be confident that this will also be safe to you. So these are my ways. Also, I different different learning approaches by integrating technology in my teaching to make the enthusiasm of my students student learnings.
Okay, yeah, your video is kind of delaying a bit. So I was about asking, so for school owners, I know I asked before, but I want to rephrase the question. For school owners who don't have the necessary tools to begin, what sort of sports will you encourage them to start with?
Every sport demands different prerequisites, different requirements, and every sport demands different preparations, facility, and equipment needed. So the basic thing that the basic sport that I think would require only a minimal resources and fund is um, solo sports or single or individual sports. We could not benchmark yet on team sports because it requires a lot of preparations, requires a lot of facilities. So if I may share to the beginning school head would like to put up their own sports team, please start with solo or single sport, like badminton, for example.
Do you think that PE teachers can actually, take decisions without the authorization of the school heads?
I think that's a no-no. We follow certain protocol. We have to really communicate first every step of the way our plan to our immediate supervisor, which in case in the Philippines for high school, communicate it first to my head teacher in charge and then eventually cascade the information to my school head. That's how we do it here in the Philippines.
Okay, you're saying that now the school head, the physical education teacher needs to contact the school head to be able to carry out the activities. But in a
Yes.
situation where the school head is actually not sports inclined, how does that teacher go about it? Because there are physical education teachers. Someone just sent a message to me via WhatsApp saying there are schools where you find out, you go to, and you realize that the school head doesn't know or doesn't really want to budge when it comes to physical education. How would you advise, the teacher to present his or her case to the school head and help them understand, what they're going through to help make their job easy?
First, I would like to attest with your statement, Miss Itoro, that yes, in fact, that there different school head has have different preparations. So there are some school head who are major in science, and they focus their most of their program in science aspect. So it's a little bit challenging on the part of the PE teacher to actually propose a project directly to our school head when it's not their interest. That's but the best thing I guess that an educator could do is to prepare a plan indicating the ways on how he or she will be able to outsource the possible fund and finances needed for the program he or she is trying to propose. Because the principals will always tell that there are a lot of considerations, there are a lot of projects that are needed to be considered first, other than the sports or the PE programs that we're trying to share to the school.
All right. So, what is the best support system schools should have, to fully execute physical education and health education curriculum? What's the best support system you think a school should have?
I think I bro, that it is a shared responsibility among all staff in the school community to provide a healthy school environment. One that supports the promotion of well-being, that all students will develop mental and physical health, a positive sense of self and belonging, and the skills to make positive choices. Research, in fact, research has proven that healthy students are better prepared to learn. But we know that every school needs a champion to promote and advocate for high quality health and PE programs. And it all lies on the way the school head steers the wheel. But of course, with all the constituents and stakeholders carrying out the same plight. Since physical education and health is never designed for students alone, it is not selective of its purpose.
Mhm.
There is something for everyone in terms of physical education and in health. So it's a collaborative effort. So the best support system is everyone within the school community.
When you say everyone within the school community, does this mean you can actually, bring in other teachers to get involved in the in the physical
Why
education
not?
activities?
Of course, why not? We have been doing that in school. We have actually a project of faculty biggest weight loser, and that had been participated by different teachers in different learning areas. Imagine there are programs that it only needed certain encouragement across all the learning areas subject or teachers to participate. But yes, it's possible. It's really possible.
Wow, this is quite interesting. I mean, what if the teachers say you are taking out of their time, they have busy schedules, they have a class to teach, or do you have to, give some form of bribe, or should I say encouragement for them to be part of it?
I think that's not necessary. It's not necessary because the moment that they're trying to engage in physical activity, it's already a win thing. It's already a win thing. It's not the benefits from it. It's them already. So it's a matter of encouraging and telling them that after all, at the end of the tunnel, it's not us who will benefit from this one. It's yours. We're just actually providing you certain program that will benefit you.
Of course, I agree with you on that. Because at the end of the day, everyone gets to exercise, everyone
Correct.
gets to, have some fun activity, living the sedentary lifestyle, and then getting themselves all busy and excited. Okay, so Kimphee, I need you to give a shout out like we usually do. I want you to give a shout out to somebody. Let's hear it.
Okay, so allow me to make mention of the people who are here tuning in and trying to participate. Of course, the president of the IX himself, Dr. Joel Santos. Thank you very much for always being so supportive since the day that's my engagement in IH. Thank you very much. And of course, to our dean, CSPEAR, who has been very, very supportive. Thank you so much. And to my student in different schools, in Novaliches High School, in the Cavite State University, and of course, in the SDSC Graduate Studies and Institute in Professional Development students across the metro. Thank you very much for being here and supporting me.
All right. So I was just trying to make sure that I put up the contribution. Thank you so much, guys, for being part of this broadcast. And if you're just joining us, we're about wrapping up today's show, and we talked about the role of the principal or school head in the development of physical and health education in schools. Like I said earlier, that there are schools where we don't even have facilities to even carry out physical and health activities. And our guest has been able to tell us that for you to be able to do that, you don't have to wait for the government to support you. You have to work with what you have. Organize simple routines that can help, make the students and the teachers and even the head teacher bond. He also emphasized that the school head, it won't be a bad idea for the school head to be part of the activity happening in the school. I mean, it does no harm if the school head decided to come and say, you know what, I'm going to take this physical education class today. So that's what he's saying. And thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kimphee, for being part of the show today. It was really, really nice having you. I know you were slightly busy, or you still busy, so you just had to take our time to join us. So I want to say a big thank you, and thank you to everyone that have been part of this broadcast. And don't forget, you can still watch the broadcast because it's still going to be on the page even when we're done, and you can still watch on my YouTube channel at Itoro's Hub, as I'm going to still upload the same interview on the page. Thank you so much for being part of the broadcast. And if you still have questions or you have contribution, please just kindly drop it, as I will be in the comment section. Thank you so much, Kimphee, for being part of it today. I know it's evening where you are because you're 7 hours ahead of me right now. So thank you so much for allowing me to take time into your evening. I really do appreciate this. Thank you so much, and have a blessed weekend. So
Yes,
bye until I come your way
Miss
next
Jimmy
time.
Itoro, I
Take
really
care.
appreciate the
Bye for
opportunity.
now.
Thank you so much. Keep safe.
All right, you too. Bye.